Welcome you all in the 11th edition of International Conference on Material Processing and Characterization. On behalf of all the organizers, I heartily welcome you to IIT Indore. Although it's in virtual mode, but we'll try to make it as live as possible. And although we had planned to have this thing on our campus, and those who have seen the video, so we have a very good facility as far as uh, infrastructure is concerned, research facilities are concerned, and location is also very beautiful. Uh, so it was like a dream for us to that all of you should have come to this place, but somehow because of this unwanted situation, we are not able to invite you. So, but this is a virtual mode, and we'll try to make it very convenient and more interactive for all of you. So, this is really our honor and pleasure to invite all the dignitaries. So, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Avinash Kumar Srivastava, who is the chief guest of this inaugural session and for this conference. I welcome you, sir. Uh, and I'm also privileged to welcome our guest of honor, Professor Nilesh Kumar Jain, who is Director Officiating IIT Indore. And I also welcome our guest of honor, Professor Sham Sundar Patnaik. He is the Director of NITTTR Chandigarh. I also welcome Professor Manoj Gupta, who is also one of the convener of this conference, and he is working in NUS Singapore. And last but not the least, I would like to welcome Professor Swadesh Kumar Singh, who is the main architect of this conference. And I welcome all of you to this 11th edition of International Conference on Material Processing and Characterization. So I think according to the schedule, now I should start the proceedings. And here I would like to invite Dr. Swadesh Kumar Singh, who is Professor and Dean R&D at GRIT Hyderabad. He has done his MTech and doctorate from IIT Delhi and specialization in metal forming. He has published 70 research papers in reputed international and national journals. He is awarded with Career Award for Young Teachers by AICT and Young Scientist Award by DST for his research project. He authored books on production engineering, industrial engineering, reasoning, and aptitude for standard publications. He is the driving force of latest technologies in material science, which steers the student to adapt to the changes. His areas of interest are sheet metal forming, finite element simulation, characterization of materials. He has handled R&D projects, sponsored projects worth 2.5 crore rupees. He has guided 4 PhD students, and he is reviewer of many international journals and member of various societies. So I would invite Dr. Swadesh Kumar Singh to give more insight into the conference, its history, and future also. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Parey. So I would like to share my screen. So, respected Professor Srivastav, Professor Jain, Professor Patnaik, Professor Gupta, Professor Parey, and Professor Ishwar for joining us today, and dear participants of ICMPC. So I will just give you the insight of the ICMPC series. So presently, there are 4 conveners of this event, and these are the 4 conveners: Professor Parey, Dr. Ishwar, Professor Gupta from NUS, and myself. And this is the International Executive Committee of ICMPC. So they are working materials and the characterization. Professor Devem, Professor Nikhare, Dr. Nitin, primarily Bits Pilani, and Professor Khalsa. Presently, he is in IIT Chandigarh, and Professor Sajwan, Professor Rana, Dr. Asma, Professor Parey, and Dr. Ishwar. So now over the years, the ICMPC started in 2012. And since then, we have association of primarily two journals, Materials Today Proceeding. Previously, we used to have some other journals. For last 5 or 6 years, we have association with Elsevier and Taylor Francis, both the journals. So Materials Today Proceeding, they publishes basically bulk of our journals. And then Advances in Material Processing Technology, it's an ESCI journal, and publisher is Taylor and Francis. Presently, we are publishing only 25 articles, selected articles in a particular theme. So for the 12th, I will give you some more insight, but presently for IIT Indore version, we have association of these two journals. And this is the statistics over the years. This 2016, we conducted this conference with Melbourne University, Victoria University, Melbourne, and Professor Stephen Bigger was the host there and convener. And for most of the Indians, it was quite expensive because $750 was the registration fees. That was we got only 65 articles there, and we had a great time there in Melbourne. And then since last 4 or 5 years, consistently we get close to 450 to 500 accepted papers for publication. So our acceptance ratio is close to 60 to 65. And all the papers that we receive, previously it was Elsevier editorial system, now it's editorial manager. And all the articles are 2 peer blind reviews. And once they give the favorable recommendations, only be forwarded for publication. So for ICMPC 2020 IIT Indore version, we accepted close to 500 articles. And actually the presentations will happen approximately for 465. Because the unregistered paper we are removing from the editorial system. So that is our target every year, approximately 500. So the publication procedure, basically plagiarism. Now, the procedure is when any author submits article to editorial manager, there is an authenticate runs plagiarism. So it gives the 2 plagiarism, internal as well as external. And the plagiarism should be less than 30% before I can send the article for review. And it has to be in the theme. And the resultant discussion should be proper. Only then we can accept the article for publication. So in the background, there is a quality check by Elsevier. Presently, they are using Authenticate. And once we accept, it goes for production. The moment we accept the article, approximately after 15 days, it comes online. These are over the years, we have got many prominent keynote speakers. For example, this year we have 10 very prominent speakers. Professor Manoj Gupta is one of them. And all this schedule is already there on the website. But previous to this conference, we have got Professor Akhtar Khan. He is editor-in-chief of International Journal of Plasticity. And Professor Swazar, he was there with us. Professor Yoon, Jiong Van Yoon. He is the person who works extensively on plasticity and the sheet metal forming. And we Professor Narasimhan, and because he's very kind enough to basically accept our invitation practically every alternate year for our conference. And we can say he's one of the founding person whom we trust for any materials basically related issue that we come across. And he's my guru. And then Professor Bigger, he was the host of this Melbourne conference, Victoria University conference, where approximately 65 papers were presented. And Professor Indravir Singh, my classmate. Professor Drulich, he's a Michigan Tech. He was also a speaker during the initial days of ICMPC. He works in the copper alloys. And Professor Rolf from Deakin, he's the one who works in the sheet metal forming because my area of expertise is sheet metal forming. And Jensen Chen, he's basically the Dynaform developer. Dynaform is a software where we simulate sheet metal forming. Now, for 12th ICMPC, this will be organized at NITTTR Chandigarh, very one of the prominent institutions in North India. And conveners will be Professor S.S. Dhami. He is presently HOD heading the Department of Mechanical, and Professor Rupendra Singh Khalsa. Both of them are here during inauguration. And Professor Hashmi, he's the editor-in-chief of Advances in Materials and Processing Technology. And I would like to inform you all that for 12th edition of conference, along with Materials Today Proceeding, we have association of 2 journals, and both the journal submissions we are going to put in the open domain. I mean, everybody can basically submit. And first journal is Advances in Materials and Processing Technology, and we are going to select 50 papers in the theme of 3D printing. And it's a, it's a SCI journal, and second is a Bentham Science, and it's a quick Bentham Science journal. It's a QT journal having impact factor 0.4. There also we are in talk, and hopefully some agreement will be signed. So around 25 papers we will put in Bentham Science. Of course, the rest of the papers will be published in our regular materials today proceeding. So I will invite all of you on behalf of Professor Khalsa, very close friend of mine, to Chandigarh for the next edition. And hopefully this COVID situation will not be there. And we will meet personally and we will have a chit chat there. And then second thing I would like to announce is, for the present Indore conference, as we promised, after the conference, we are going to dispatch kits to all the registered Indian participants, because there are participants from the 12 different countries. I'm going to name them because we tried to make the slide, but last moment there was a lot of pressure, so we could not make it. Apart from India, we have delegates from Japan, Nigeria, China, Australia, Bangladesh, Iraq, United States, South Africa, Kenya, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, and Slovakia. So these are the countries that are participating in this conference in the different sessions. So the kit we are going to send it to Indian participants. Otherwise, outside it's quite expensive. Now, just one more announcement. The 13th ICMPC version, there is one request from Malaysia also. So hopefully we will have at Sarawak University, Malaysia, on preferably in the June 2022. So but it is not finalized. So that thing we are going to announce at NITTTR Chandigarh. So that's what about the background of ICMPC. So over to Parey sir. Thank you all for hearing.
Thank you very much, Professor Swadesh, for letting us know about the history, present, and as well as future. And the way this conference is gaining popularity, I'm sure that in the coming future, we'll have more participation. And this time we did it online in IIT Indore, but maybe after 2 or 3 years, we would again like to have it in a on campus. Okay, so this is moving forward. Now I would like to invite Professor Manoj Gupta. Professor Manoj Gupta was a former head of materials division of the mechanical engineering department and director of material science and engineering at NUS Singapore. He did his PhD from University of California, Irvine, USA in 1992, and postdoctoral research at University of Alberta, Canada, 1992. In August 2017, he was highlighted among top 1% scientists of the world position by the University Scientific Education and Research Network, and among 2.5%, top 2.5% among scientists as per ResearchGate. To his credit, our disintegrated melt deposition technique, hybrid microwave sintering technique, an energy efficient solid state processing method to synthesize alloys, micro and nano composites. He has published over 585 peer-reviewed journal papers and owns 2 US patents and 1 trade secret. His current H index is 67, RG index is more than 47, and citations are greater than 17,000. He has also co-authored 6 books published by John Bailey, Springer, and MRF USA. He is editor-in-chief and editor of 12 international peer-reviewed journals, a multiple award winner. He actively collaborates and visits Japan, France, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, China, USA, and India as a visiting researcher, professor, and chair professor. So I welcome Professor Manoj Gupta to encourage all the participants and just give some message to the participants. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Anand to introduce me. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. And I also like to thank the chief guest and the guest of honors to be to take their time and be present in this inauguration session. And I'll also like to thank advisory committee members who have advised the conveners at different stages, and also the participant for participating and making this conference successful. I can see about 500 papers is a very big number, and is considered as a big conference because it's not even easy to get 100 to 200 papers at times. I was just part of another conference, and we hardly got about 100 papers. So it's a job very well done. I would like to say that. And uh, I will like to thank everyone who is organized with this conference. These are some excellent efforts so far in organizing the conference, and I hope to see a wonderful and terrific conclusion um, at the end of the day. And I will also like to thank the student and researchers to make this conference successful. Please learn from the speakers who are going to present, because it may be very important for your research career. So I will advise you people to attend as many papers, as many keynotes and all these things, and try to learn, try to take the message and shape up your research in the time to come. So with this, I conclude and pass it back to Prof. Anand.
Thank you very much, Professor Manoj Gupta, for your kind words. And now I would like to invite Professor Nilesh Kumar Jain. Professor Nilesh Kumar Jain, he joined IIT Indore as Associate Professor in January 2010 and became Professor in December 2013. He did his PhD in 2003 and MTech in 1995 from IIT Kanpur, with specialization in manufacturing science and B in mechanical engineering from SGSITS Indore in 1993. Before joining IIT Indore, he served in Mechanical and Industrial Engineering Department at IIT Roorkee during June 2004 to January 2010, and South Asia International Institute, Hyderabad during June 2003 to May 2004, and Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology, New Delhi during July 2002 to June 2003. Professor Jain extensively works on various aspects of advanced and hybrid machining and finishing processes, additive manufacturing, gear finishing, miniature gear manufacturing, and micro joining. Professor Jain has played significant role in the development of temporary and permanent campuses of IIT Indore since January 2010. To name a few, virtual classroom under National Knowledge Network and Central Workshop, he has developed 5 state-of-the-art research and teaching labs at IIT Indore, namely Gear Research Lab, Metrology Lab, Advanced Manufacturing Processing Lab, Machining Science Lab, Manufacturing Process Lab. He played crucial role in conceptualization of and coordination of securing funding and establishing DST FIS Center of Excellence in Gear Engineering at IIT Indore in 2015. He is PI of DST FIS project on Gear Engineering and Coordinator Center of Excellence in Gear Engineering since August 2015. Professor Jain has served as member of first Board of Governors of IIT Indore during April 2010 to July 2012. He has served as acting director of IIT Indore for a total duration of more than 18 months, spanning over various occasions since 2010. He was first Dean of Academic Affairs of IIT Indore during 6th October 2010 to 30th May 2019, and again 2013 for second tenure, and in October 2016 for third tenure. As Dean of Academic Affairs, he has played significant role in developing course curriculum, academic procedures and regulations, and academic infrastructure for various BTech, MTech, MSc, PhD and dual degree program of IIT Indore, organizing 9 orientation and 6 convocation of IIT Indore. He was member of BOG of NIT Raipur during July 15 to 18, and he's member of Finance Committee of IIT Indore. So these are some of the credentials, and I think I have just cut short his profile, and He's my colleague, and we are working together in IIT Indore for quite long time. So for me, I think I can keep on describing, but now it's better he should uh, give some words of encouragement to all of us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Parey. I am audible.
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. Professor Srivastav, Director AMPRI, and Professor Patnaik, Director of NITTTR, Chandigarh, the conveners of this 11th International Conference on Materials Processing and Characterization, Professor Anand Parey, Professor Swadesh Singh, and Professor Manoj Gupta. My distinguished colleagues at IIT Indore and the participants, good morning to all of you and virtual welcome to IIT Indore. When we started this, I think in August or September 2019, I remember when Dr. Swadesh Singh has visited IIT Indore, and then the preliminary discussion took place. There are a lot of enthusiasm that yes, this conference is going to happen at IIT Indore. I also participated in, I think, 1 or 2 meetings. But then this pandemic came, everything was going very fine. The conveners were working very hard. But I mean, IIT Indore has organized many conferences, international conferences, but this is the first conference organized in virtual mode. But nevertheless, what is important that the conference is being organized, and I am told that there are 550 accepted papers. So that shows the success of this conference, and credit goes to Dr. Swadesh Singh, who has been persistently pursuing this conference at different places. I think 2020 February it happened in Mathura, and we were supposed to go, but then again the situation was not conducive. But nevertheless, the conference is happening. I'm very happy about that. And IIT Indore, as all of you might be knowing, that it is in among the top 10 NIRF ranked institute, and our international ranking is there for everyone to see. And the conference is very relevant if I see the theme that materials processing and characterization. So it's a very broad topic, but material processing, whether you process in the liquid form, solid form, or the powder form, different types of material depending upon their mechanical, chemical, and other properties, which is decided which state it can be processed. And the important aspect, after we manufacture some component or anything, we need to characterize, or if we develop any material, we need to characterize it. So this conference has actually established itself as a brand name, and because the proceedings are coming in the elsewhere, and now other journals they have tied up. So the different types of participant which Dr. Swadesh has mentioned, it's truly international. We have got the participants from different continents. Obviously, Asia is there, Africa is there. I think some people from Europe and other countries are also there. So what it shows that it has become a brand name. There are certain conferences in India. They started initially as the Indian version, and then became the international version. Well, the most prominent I can tell you is the All India Manufacturing Technology and Design Research Conference. So since 2006, it has gone international. But to start a process from the international and then to maintain that momentum is really worth mentioning. And I hope that the deliberations which are going to happen in next 3 days would be very helpful for the participant. Generally, I would request all the participant to attend the sessions, whatever their interest is, because this online thing gives a lot of flexibility to us. We can attend through mobile, we can attend from home, and we switch off the video and we switch off the audio and then do whatever. But then at the end of the day, it loses the purpose of doing it. Had it been in the in physical presence, then what would have happened? The participant do a lot of interaction. They discuss with the expert. The keynote speakers are taken. The address by the keynote speakers are taken very seriously, and that's what we gain. And the collaboration thing, somebody wants to do higher studies at a different institute or IIT Indore, or somebody wants to collaborate, those who are already PhD, they start collaboration, and that's how the seeds of mutual cooperation and collaboration and further progress are sown in such type of conferences. So still, I think what I would request the participant that they should use this opportunity. You can have a lot of discussion, and now this thing has made that, you know, you don't require a person physical presence. If you want to collaborate, you just have a online meeting with that person. And now we are into such a age that these things would be very useful. So I wish that this conference obviously is going to be the grand success, and I wish all the participants to take the advantage of the keynote speakers and the papers which are going to be presented in this, and take the advantage of it. So all the best.
Thank you very much, Professor Jain, for your encouraging words, and as well as advice to the participants. I think they must note it, that they must give full attention to all the sessions. So thank you very much. Now, moving forward, now we have with us guest of honor of today's inaugural session, Professor Shyam Sundar Patnaik. Professor Shyam Sundar Patnaik is presently the director of National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, known as NITTTR, Chandigarh. The institute is an autonomous institute of Ministry of Education, Government of India, established in year 1967. Before joining to the post of director, Professor Patnaik served as Vice Chancellor of Biju Patnaik University of Technology, a technical university of Government of Odisha. Professor Shyam Sundar Patnaik completed his postdoctoral research from University of Utah, USA, and PhD in Engineering, Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering from Sambalpur University, Odisha. Under the able supervision of and guidance of Professor S.S. Patnaik, 23 students have completed their PhDs, and one more is pursuing his PhD work. He has 52 ME theses to his credit and has published about 280 papers in journals and conferences of repute. He has 2 international books and 4 international book chapters to his credit. A recipient of Boycost Fellowship from DST, Government of India, Professor Patnaik is also awarded with SERC Visiting Fellowship, INSA Visiting Fellowship, UGC Visiting Fellowship, Distinguished Faculty Award, National Education Excellence Award, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award for Excellence, Bharat Excellence Award, Institute Leader Excellence Award, Certificate of Commendation for Excellent Efforts in Sponsored Research Scheme, Lifetime Achievement in Technical Education, Merit Certificate, Best Paper Award, etc. He is Life Fellow of IETE, Life Member of ISTE, and Senior Member of IEEE, USA. Professor Patnaik is a known researcher in the field of antenna and soft computing and their application to biomedical. He is the brain behind the use of Google Hangout to conduct faculty training programs started in the 2012, thus opening a new approach in digital pedagogy. During his tenure as Vice Chancellor, Professor Patnaik brought out many innovative approaches in the university. Professor Shyam Sundar Patnaik is involved in the various national and international committees in the capacity of chairman and member. So I welcome Professor Shyam S. Patnaik, and I request him to say a few words to encourage the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Anand. Namaskar and good morning. Esteemed Chief Guest of the ICMPC inauguration function, Dr. Srivastav, our very close friend, the esteemed Director of IIT Indore, Professor Naresh Kumar Jain, esteemed Professor Manoj Gupta, distinguished Program Committee and Advisory Committee members, learned participants, keen investigators, once again, namaskar and good morning to all of you. Indeed, it is a great pleasure to be a part of such a big initiatives where I am surprised to heard that 500 plus papers have been accepted. So that shows the involvement, the personal attention, and the support system from the place like IIT Indore to really mobilize so many research globally, bringing them to a single platform, getting that number of papers, and after that, coming out with a selected paper of 500 plus, because we have also conducted many conferences, and this is I must join with Mr. Manoj Gupta and the director, Professor Jain, to congratulate the team, their efforts, and their sincerity in really coming out with a very visible outcome. At the outset, again, once again, I would thank all such people responsible for picking up NITTTR Chandigarh as the next venue of this conference. I extend a advance welcome to all of you, also the people who will be again joining to this wonderful place, and assure you that the administration here will support all the endeavors by the organizing committee to see that it's reached to that heights which you are aiming at. Now, coming back to the topic, I still remember the way back when I was part of the Agni projects, and we are struggling for developing these substrates. And that time I realized how handicapped an antenna engineer is in absence of a right kind of substrate when you are making antennas. And it was a struggle like anything. And Professor Gupta, when you were, his biodata was read, he also has worked in microwave, he will support me in this contest that not having a right kind of materials, no antenna engineer can really write a success story. So therefore, it is not only the composition of the material, how the materials behaves electrically is very important for us. So the electrical properties are to be analyzed so that it gives a next avenues for the antenna engineers. They are not the material scientists, they are not the material composer, but they are definitely user of those materials which are having the favorable material characteristics in terms of the electrical properties or magnetic properties for them. So therefore, in this type of conference, since it is multidisciplinary nature, so all aspects are to be taken into consideration. But in recent time, like as you know, healthcare system is jumping into another scenario. Here also we struggle with materials like nanobiomaterials for nano antennas and biomedical antennas. So that also can be, if you can really address, that will be great help to the engineers who are looking forward to giving a medical related solution, especially in RF applications. So those type of aspect, if you can add on to your this type of very broad-based conference, that will definitely add value to the researchers who are struggling to get right kind of substrate for their antenna design. Even like we have metafractal antennas, metamaterial antennas, so many things are there which are conceptually realized, but getting a material of that type is really a dream as on today. So if something can be also discussed in that respect, maybe you can ask Professor Gupta type of people who are not only materialist but also RF engineers. So that type of people will be the right type of hybrid type of experts, researchers in this platform to address the upcoming requirements in the microwave arena in healthcare systems. So this will definitely give a new dimension to the thought process of the organizing committee, not only just confined to only the materials or the composition of the materials and analysis of the materials, but beyond that, real application of these materials. So coming back to my institute, we are in existence since 1967, and basically our mandate is to train the technical teachers of the country. But we offer master degree and PhD programs. So therefore, if you say this is not an institute which is pursuing the undergraduate programs, only we are confined to the higher qualification related practices. We also this time launched 3 innovative MTech program in addition to our previous programs. So MTech IoT, MTech Robotics, MTech AI were launched this time. And the interesting part is that we believe that unless we integrate ourselves fully with the industry, we cannot address the requirements which are required at the societal and industrial level. So therefore, in the recent past, we have created 8 verticals, and the verticals are having a target to achieve a lot of industrial requirements. And recently we have started giving a lot of solution to our local industries, and they have started accepting us their own R&Ds. And Ludhiana, which is nearer to us, just 100 kilometers away from my institute, I asked my faculty members to be focused. Let's address the local needs, then we go beyond the local requirements. So that way, the focused attention, focused target action plan of the institute started yielding many results in recent past. And we have moved very fast in our H index in the institutional category, because this institute, when it started, it was aiming at the polytechnic education. Then we really started playing in the bigger role of after 2003, when we became NITTTR from TTTI. So that way, in this 17 years time, we have really delivered a lot of activities, because as our faculty members are diversified in nature, the multidisciplinary concept is truly practiced in this type of institute. But it's not compartmentalization of having only a mechanical doing the mechanical engineering work. They are really integrated with all other departments. They can really deliver a good type of multidisciplinary research cohesiveness and the linkage to the researcher who are looking forward to this type of help. So without going further in this, once again, I extend a hearty welcome to all of you for this inauguration session. Also extend a welcome in advance to all of you, and all the participants will be joining in future to this wonderful place called City Beautiful. Thank you so much. God bless all of you.
Thank you very much, Professor Patnaik, for your encouraging words and inviting all of us to your institute in next conference. Now, I would like to invite the chief guest of today's inaugural session, Dr. Avinash Kumar Srivastav. He is Director, Advanced Materials and Process Research Institute, known as AMPRI, Bhopal, which is CSIR lab. And Dr. Avinash Kumar Srivastav has contributed significantly in the field of processing, characterization, properties, and possible application of metals and alloys, composites, semiconductors, and various nanostructures. He received his MSc degree in physics from IIT Roorkee in 1986, known as University of Roorkee at that time. MTech in material science from IIT Kanpur in 1988, and PhD in metallurgy from ISC Bangalore in 1996 in the Faculty of Engineering. His prolific research is applied to understanding the nucleation growth mechanism, phase transformations, microstructure, and defects of variety of materials in the form of bulk and fascinating nanoscale is outstanding and known by the peer worldwide. He has contributed significantly in various projects in the area of advanced materials pertaining to rapidly solidified metallic systems, nanostructures, composites, solar energy, thermoelectrics, magnetic, and safety and health environment. Dr. Srivastav has published more than 250 research articles in reputed international journals, more than 200 papers, and invited talks in different scientific meetings in India and abroad. He has filed or granted 12 patents into his credit, along with 9 technology or know-how transfer to various private partners. He has published a book entitled Oxide Nanostructures, Growth, Microstructures, and Properties. Dr. Srivastav has carried out innovative research in collaboration with ISC Bangalore, BHU Varanasi, IIT Delhi, Kanpur, and Hyderabad. He has traveled about 15 countries under different scientific and technical capabilities, and also conducted research as visiting faculty and scientists in various institutes like University of Paris, University of Reims, France, Technical University Darmstadt, Germany, Okayama University of Science, Japan, University of Arkansas, USA, Pohang University of Science and Technology, South Korea, Department of Energy, Italy, Hungarian Academy of Science, Hungary, Argonne and Brookhaven National Laboratory of USA. He has received many awards. To name a few, President is President of Electron Microscope Society of India. He is a member, Governing Council Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council, known as TIFAC, Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. He is Fellow Electron Microscope Society since 2016, Fellow the Indian Institute of Metals since 2014, Metallurgist of the Year, Ministry of Steel, Government of India Award in 2011, Material Research Society of India Medal in 2011. He is Boycott Fellow and Kwan Thong Hood Fellowship Award of Singapore, to name a few. And he is a member of various organizing committees of national and international conferences and societies. He is a life member of Indian Institute of Metals, IIM India, Material Research Society of India, life member, the Minerals, Metals and Materials Society, USA, American Nano Society, is a life member. So list is long, so I shall not read it out. So without wasting much time, I would request Professor Srivastava to please speak few words and encourage all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anand, for giving such a nice introduction. And good morning to all of you. As per Indian time, because I can see there are participants from several countries. So first of all, let me congratulate the organizers for having such important conference, even in this pandemic situation. And I am honored to be part of the program along with very distinguished persons on this virtual platform, like Professor Nilesh Jain, Director, IIT Indore, my good friend, Professor S.S. Patnaik, Director, IITTR Chandigarh, Professor Manoj Gupta of National University of Singapore, Professor Anand Parey of IIT Indore, Professor Sudesh Singh of GRET Hyderabad, Professor Iswara Korimili, and also the last but not least, and probably the most important part of the conference, that is our young researchers and participants. So I'll talk a bit on materials processing and characterization. I have few slides and kindly just bear with me while I load these slides. Share.
Yeah, you can share the screen, sir.
Double click. Sure.
Yeah, is it visible?
Is it visible, these slides?
Yeah, visible, sir.
It's in presentation. It should be in slideshow. Yes. Yeah. So I am from Advanced Materials and Process Research Institute, Bhopal. This is one of the constituents lab of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. In short, we say CSIR AMPRI Bhopal. And this is the only CSIR lab located in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, although there are 38 labs of CSIR across the country. So I will talk a bit maybe with a broader perspective related to materials processing and characterization, a perspective from next generation processes, Industry 4.0, Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance, and Skill India. So the materials processing is one of the oldest engineering studies. If we look at our history, and is still the most relevant in the 21st century manufacturing as well. The characterization has been in the central for the development of reliable industrial processes and play a crucial role in developing standards for materials, processes, and products. In order for any country to become technological advanced society, the fundamental process is to become self-reliance. That is starting from materials processing, creating materials standards, to industrial metrological standards, innovation and creativity, and skilled manpower. It's very important, skilled manpower. Materials processing, the series of operations that transform industrial materials from a raw material state into finished parts or products. Industrial materials are defined as those used in the manufacture of hard goods, such as more or less durable machines and equipment, produced for industry and consumers, as contrasted with disposable soft goods such as chemicals, foodstuffs, pharmaceuticals, and apparel. Materials processing started from the Stone Age, when human civilization started using tools for cutting, hunting, and making fire. From the Stone Age to the Bronze Age to the Iron Age, every major advancement of human civilization has been driven by a development in materials. The modern industry has seen great advances since its earliest iteration at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century. For centuries, most of the goods, including weapons, tools, food, clothing, and housing, were manufactured by hand or by using work animals. This changed in the end of the 18th century with the introduction of manufacturing processes. The progress from Industry 1.0 was then rapid uphill climb leading up to the upcoming industrial area. Industry 1.0 is a mechanical production. The late 18th century introduced mechanical production facilities to the world. Water and steam power machines were developed to help workers in the mass production of goods. The first weaving loom was introduced in 1784. With the increase in production, efficiency, and scale, small businesses grew from serving a limited number of customers to large organizations with owners, managers, and employees serving a larger number. Industry 1.0 can also be deemed as the beginning of the industry culture, which focused equally on quality, efficiency, and scale. And then we came to Industry 2.0, which was based on mass production. The beginning of 20th century marked the start of the second industrial revolution. The main contributor to this revolution was the development of machines running on electrical energy. Electrical energy was already being used as a primary source of power. Electrical machines were more efficient to operate and maintain, both in terms of cost and effort, unlike the water and steam-based machines, which were comparatively inefficient and resource hungry. The first assembly line was also built during this era, further streamlining the process of mass production. Mass production of goods using assembly line became a standard practice. This era also saw the evolution of the industry culture introduced in the Industry 1.0 into management program to enhance the efficiency of manufacturing facilities. And nowadays, we now know that even in IITs, we have several management programs. So the importance of management programs came up during Industry 2.0. Then we came to Industry 3.0, that is automation, the next industrial revolution resulting in Industry 3.0. It was brought about and spurred by the advances in the electronics industry in the last few decades of the 20th century. The invention and manufacturing of a variety of electronic devices, including transistor and integrated circuits, automated the machines substantially, which resulted in reduced effort, increased speed, greater accuracy, and even complete replacement of the human agent in some cases. Programming logic controller, PLC, which was first built in 1960s, was one of the landmark inventions that signified automation using electronics. The integration of electronics hardware into the manufacturing systems also created a requirement of software systems to enable these electronic devices, consequently fueling the software development market as well. So software culture started from the Industry 3.0, which tries to fulfill the gaps of probably the all engineering and material sciences at many platforms. Industry 4.0 then came, that is the digital transformation, the boom in the internet and telecommunication industry in the 1990s revolutionized the way we connect and exchange information. And I think today's program, what we are having on virtual platform, is also one of the very good example out of that. It also resulted in paradigm changes in the manufacturing industry and traditional production operations, merging the boundaries of the physical and virtual world. Cyber physical systems have further blurred this boundary, resulting in numerous rapid technological disruptions in the industry. And CPS all allow the machines to communicate more intelligently with each other with almost no physical or geographical barriers. Industry 4.0 witnessed the growth of 3D printing, that is additive manufacturing, intellectual property, artificial intelligence, smart robots, and automation, quantum computing, Internet of Things, drones, the blockchain, and use of big data. Now, when we talk about advanced materials and processes, for Industry 4.0, in the age of Industry 4.0, new materials are needed to improve our collective quality of life and to ensure greater environmental sustainability for the planet. Material science and engineering research is constantly moving forward in an effort to help address these goals. Some of the materials which have been given or needed a special attention. List is not limited, but these are some of the materials, like materials for sustainable energy, sustainable polymers and soft materials, better battery materials for the future, advanced materials for big data, better alloys for the future, sustainable metals, and materials for medical, micro, and nano robotics. These things nowadays we talk about self-reliant, Atmanirbhar Bharat. The advanced materials and related advanced processes and precise characterization play a very important role when we think and plan about self-reliance. To get India up and running on the road of self-reliance is the motto of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, launched by the Government of India. In recent years, the government has been making various business reforms in FDI and other sectors to boost the economy and also help the business environment to prosper. Being self-reliant is not only the need of the hour for the nation due to its major dependence on other countries' goods and services in the different sectors such as smartphones, startup environment, and IT. COVID-19 has made the economy suffer domestically and globally, and the main aim of the launch of Atmanirbhar Bharat is just to overcome the crisis. To understand the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan better, we can take the example of personal protection equipment, which are very essential in the pandemic, and India prior to this was not manufacturing it, but due to government's goal and firm stand of manufacturing the personal protection equipment, PPE in India itself results in that now the country is manufacturing over 2 lakhs PPE kits on a daily basis. Through this example, we can truly understand how if the nation decides on become self-reliant in various sectors, it can fully achieve it. And materials play a key role in all this development. There are major challenges for India in skilling for fourth industrial revolution. I would skip some of the things because I think there is a time limitation. And investing in India's human capital, it's again very important aspect. Like the skills and abilities of the country's workers must be better nourished. In terms of education, India has fared somewhat better. According to the annual status of education report 2018 published by the non-government organization Pratham, the overall enrollment of children aged between 6 and 14 has been over 96% since 2010, and trends indicate that children are staying in school. However, learning levels show that there is still some distance to go. Nationally, about half of all children can read and less than a third can do basic arithmetic. These gaps in foundational skills affect learning at later stages and can degrade the quality of the labor force. The government's flagship social infrastructure schemes such as Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and Ayushman Bharat are important remedial measures. So education and skill both are very important, and we are the part of that we can do a lot contribution in these directions. Technological innovation is fundamentally transforming now education and updating the skills required for the contemporary workplace. Building future-ready education systems requires designing curricula fit for the 21st century, coupled with the consistent delivery of a basic education for everyone that builds a solid foundation for a lifetime of adapting and developing new abilities. Specialized education should provide in-demand skills and address the disconnect between employer needs and existing instruction. Now, I'll tell you a brief, maybe a couple of slides about what we are doing at CSIR AMPRI. There is only one slide which I have put here. We are working on lightweight metallic materials, radiation shielding, and cement-free concrete materials, advanced construction materials, smart and functional materials, nanomaterials. We have a department called Integrated Approach for Design and Product Development. And we also have a very dedicated department called Water Resource Management and Rural Technology for societal benefits. In the last couple of years, we have transferred several technologies on radiation shielding materials to Messrs. Fraser Johnson, bamboo-based composite, cement-free concrete materials, and the water filter, which can remove your excess fluoride and arsenic content, and it is electricity free, it is nano alumina based filter, and so on. This slide shows the graphene composite metal based composite material we have made. SS graphene composite using 3D printing, additive manufacturing, and probably this is the first result came out from the Indian side and in international journals like additive manufacturing and material science engineering. Most recent, you know, the coronavirus, which has affected globally, and the first two pictures are from the Indian group only, not from AMPRI, but they have shown the images of this coronavirus. And the second result is ours, schematic. This shows that how we have tried to show and provoke the scientific community that can graphene-based materials play a major role in fight against COVID-19. And probably this is on global level, this is the first publication, and we made it in Science Reporter in May 2020. Most recently, again, another paper we published in Materials Today Chemistry, where we have shown the potential of graphene-based materials to combat COVID-19, properties, perspectives, and prospects. This is a new journal we have started in association with CSIR National Institute of Science Communication, Applied Innovative Research, where we welcome all young researchers, senior scientists, and industry people too, to publish their new findings. And this journal is doing pretty well. With this, thank you very much. Before that, once again, I congratulate all the organizers who are directly or indirectly involved in this conference, and also extend my best wishes for a great success of the conference. Thank you very much. Dhanyawad.
Thank you very much, Professor Avinash Kumar Srivastav, for giving such a nice talk. And I would say it covered almost everything. And you started from very beginning and from history and now to Industry 4.0. And it is really motivating, and young researchers can connect like in which direction they should continue their research. And also, like whatever research we are doing, it should have some benefit to our country. And also, you highlighted the work which your organization is doing. And I will take this liberty to just have more interaction, like from IIT and between IIT Indore and CSIR AMPRI. I'm not sure. I think Professor Jain would be aware. Like if we can have some MOU sort of thing, and where we can interact, because I saw the areas in which you are working. A lot of faculty members are working in more or less same areas. So we have a lot of collaboration with RRCAT at Indore. But I think Bhopal is quite close to Indore, and the areas in which our faculty members and researchers are working are quite matching with your research areas. So this is just out, I came to my mind. So I request Professor Jain, so just take initiative, and then Professor Srivastava also, if he finds that okay, that we can have some collaboration. So I think this is just out of this context I am talking this. And in fact, Dr. Swadesh is also working in the similar area. So this kind of conferences are really a great platform to know about each other and have more collaborative work. So, and also you presented your work, which is on COVID, how this graphene-based material can be helpful. So this is how a researcher should mold himself or herself according to the situation. That is also important. And you have to be adaptive if you want to grow, and if you want to get success, and if you want to help your countrymen. So those things are really very encouraging. And with that, I thank you for coming. And as customary, I am now starting this vote of thanks. So just to start with, I would like to thank Professor Avinash Kumar Srivastava, who has devoted his time, and he has kindly agreed to be chief guest of this conference. So thank you very much, sir. And
Thank you.
uh, I hope in future also we'll be having more interaction, and we can together we can do better.
Sure,
So
sure.
thank you very much. Now, secondly, we have guest of honor, Professor Shyam Sundar Patnaik. Thank you very much, sir, for joining this inaugural session, devoting your time and enlightening and encouraging the participants, and also inviting us for the next conference to your place. Thank you very much. Uh, our second guest of honor, and I would say like he's a patron of this conference, and my colleague. And so thank you very much, Professor Nilesh Kumar Jain, Director, IIT Indore, Officiating Director, for devoting his time and giving his suggestions and views on this conference. And definitely we are feeling honored, and we'll move forward like that. So thank you very much for your time. And now I would like to uh, give thanks to some of the like those who would be presenting, all the keynote speakers, those who will be presenting in this upcoming like 3 days. Professor Glenn, Professor Horst, Professor Narsimhan, Professor Manoj Gupta, Professor Satyam Savas, Professor D. Ravi Kumar, Professor Chetan Nikhare, Professor Julfikar, Professor Inderdeep Singh, those who have agreed to deliver keynote speech. And we are really thankful to all of them. And we hope that you will get benefited by attending their lectures. Secondly, I would like to thank all the reviewers, because without them, it is not possible to have that huge number of inflow of papers which was there. And there is a dedicated team, and of Dr. Swadesh and everybody. They have done a lot of hard work in reviewing, which is, I think, all of us, we are all our researchers, we understand how difficult is it to get a nice, I mean, critical review. And that job has been done by all the reviewers. I'm not naming them, but maybe at the end, I mean, when the closing will be there, probably we can discuss about those who have contributed a lot, and then we can appreciate them. Um, all the authors. So without their contribution, these kind of conferences are not possible. So I thank all the authors, those who have contributed their paper in this conference. And I also request them to give their support in the coming conferences also of ICMPC, 12th edition, and likewise. So thank you once again to all the authors. I also would like to thank the members of technical and organizing committees, members of advisory committee, members of international executive committee, and all those who have contributed in some sense or other. And I would like to specifically mention Dr. Satyanarayana of GRIT Hyderabad for his support to manage the inaugural ceremony. I would also like to thank Dr. Tanya of GRIT Hyderabad for her tremendous contribution in arranging the schedule of paper presentation. I would like to thank Dr. Kuldeep Saxena of GLA University for managing entire session for paper presentation. And last but not the least, our special thanks to Mr. Mahesh for his contribution in handling papers from EES and editorial system, and also managing the website nicely. So once again, thank you very much, all of you, for joining this inaugural session. And I hope this conference will change a lot of research directions, and I think it will give new ideas to the young researchers, and we'll all get benefited, and our country will grow, and we can contribute in the development of our country, and in broader sense to the entire world we can contribute. Thank you very much. So this is all from my side, and thank you everyone for joining. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Isha?
Yeah, so again, good morning all. So we will take a short break for 15 minutes and come back with the first keynote speech at 10:30 as scheduled. And then we'll have two keynotes today morning, followed by the regular sessions. Again, at the end of the day, we have to invite two keynotes. That's for the today. And tomorrow, we're going to start the program at 2 o'clock because we have speakers across the globe. So we will be having a speaker from US who's going to present at 8:45 night. So we are going to start tomorrow's session at 2 o'clock, as most of you have known this. And the day after tomorrow, again, we'll start a regular 10 o'clock session, followed by at 4:30, we're going to have a valedictory session where, as notified by Professor Swadesh, we will be doing, the best presentations we can. In this first time in ICMPC, and we have best presentations award that are given to different for each of these themes. So we'll be having this. We'll be giving these awards in valedictory session. So that's all for today. I hope all the keynote speeches will be open to everybody, and then they will be held in the same Zoom link. So feel free to join whenever you want to join in for the keynotes and all the important events. But whereas all the individual sessions, you were given a scheduled, detailed schedule where there are 8 parallel sessions are there. So each of these sessions will be held in particular Zoom link which is given to you. And then one thing you remember is that for all the Zoom links, the invariably default password is 1234, because you don't want to make deliberately open to everybody because there are some other issues coming to picture. So that is why we wanted to identify with everybody. So please enter the 1234 password and then log into each of the session. Okay. With that, I'll hand over to Professor Swadesh. Sir.
So we will take 10 minutes break and meeting will continue. Then first keynote is Professor Gupta's, I think. No?
Yeah. First keynote is Professor Gupta today, followed by we have another speaker from Penn State, Professor Chetan Nikhare is going to join us because it's very late night for him today, and then he's going to join us. In the evening at 3:30 onwards, we have 2 keynotes, one by Professor Ravi Kumar of IIT Delhi, and then followed by at 4 we have 4:30. And we have Professor Hoston joining. He's an INT director, Institute of Nanotechnology director from Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. He's going to speak at 4:30 to 5:15 again to adjust his local time in Germany. And he's also, I request all the people, participants as well as distinguished guests to be present for